What's up everybody, my name's Scott and in this video I've got a special welding project. I built an infield grader to work on one of the t-ball fields in my local town, and I had to build a grader box and some ripper teeth. In this video I'm going to do some hard facing on the ripper teeth. This is the grader box that I built. It's 4-inch sheet channel. 20 ripper teeth made out of 3/8 inch rebar. I didn't have any material that I was willing to use to make these teeth out of, like a hardened, like a 1045 or some kind of wearing material. So like I said, I'm first going to build up the ends of these teeth using 7018. That's a low hydrogen 70 KSI electrode. The hard facing electrodes that I have are Hobart Hardalloy 140s, and these are a hard facing electrode, and they're specifically for high abrasion with light impact loads. So Hobart only offers two different electrodes for hard facing. They have a 140 and a 148. So the 148 is for low abrasion, high impact, and this one is basically high abrasion, low impact. So it's just a little bit different chemistry in the wire. But for this application, this is what I have. Basically, I was just looking for a stick electrode for high abrasion, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money. So this tube, 10 pounds of this shipped, was $150. So some of the retailers, you got to buy 3 cans minimum. So you're spending close to $400 to get this, depending on what retailer you go to. This retailer was able to sell me just one 10-pound sealed container. This is what I got. Let's get started on this 7018 buildup. Alright, I just did 3 layers of 7018 to build up the ends of those rods. I'm going to switch over to that Hardalloy. I'm going to do some X's on this flat surface, and basically in wet sandy material or wet kind of clay material, you do an X pattern, and that pattern will pack full of material, and then the material actually becomes the buffer area instead of the actual hard alloy. So I'm going to do a couple of those X patterns across the face of this to see how the wire runs, and then I'll do a couple tries on the ends of these pieces of rebar. Alright, I definitely feel like I had to long arc it to keep that lit. I probably need a little bit more power on the welding machine. There it is, blew the circuit. Right now I got my machine. I just blew my circuit breaker. I got my machine plugged into 115 volts. And this thing seems to want like 120 amps. So let me get my circuit breaker reset and we'll look at these welds. This is my little X pattern I did. I got a couple pinholes in that bead, but all the other beads came out pretty good. This seems to be working pretty good. I'm going to do this material. So that's that hard facing material built up on the ends. On this side I did a zigzag instead of the X pattern, so when I'm using this I'm going to compare how the X pattern holds material versus how the zigzag pattern holds material and see which one kind of works better. So one of the things I thought I would check out is just running a file across it. So I'll run a file across this, just the steel for this. You can kind of, you can hear it how it cuts the material. And you can see the notch, and then I'll run it across this and see. You can hear the difference in a hard material. It's gonna sound, you know, more pingy than dull. So this is, you know, just A36 channel iron, and this is the hard facing. It's not harder than my file, but it's not really supposed to. This material doesn't have a really high hardness. It has abrasion resistance. So overall, I'm really happy with the hard facing. You know, the buildup on the ends of the pieces of the ripper teeth here on the ends of that 3/8 inch rebar came out good. And then the kind of the buildup along each edge to test out, you know, the different patterns for packing material into a hard facing grid pattern. They came out good too. So I'm excited to get this thing back on the tractor and get over to the ball field and test it out. That's going to be covered in a different video. I got a whole video series coming of building this grader from scratch, so that'll be out soon. If you like the channel and you want to learn more about welding or fabrication, please like, comment, and subscribe. I've got my car over here I'm still been working on. Subscribe if you want to see more content.